Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to another UEP video. It's a double upload day, I guess. I uploaded a video about Chris Janicek, the Democratic candidate for Senate in Nebraska. It's only 3.5 minutes long, so hopefully you have time to watch that. This one is it's gonna be pretty long. Sorry, I was thirsty. I had to drink my refreshments. Anyways. I'm gonna get right into this, so please, I'm probably gonna skip to the end. If you watch the whole video, tell me in the comments because you're a legend, and I will heart and pin your comment if there are, because I doubt anyone's gonna watch the whole video, but if you do, you're a legend. So we can characterize our safe states. Not New Mexico. That's probably gonna be likely. My model actually, I think I was overestimating Biden's strength there. I used to characterize New Mexico as safe. It's not gonna be safe. Illinois is going to be safe. All of these states that are running up here are going to be safe except for New Hampshire. There are people who think that Connecticut. I've seen a right-wing forecaster call Connecticut a lean Democratic state. I was laughing pretty hard at that. There's no evidence for that. I mean, it's so insignificant. I don't think there are any polls. Well, there are polls, but Biden plus 23, Sanders plus. Oh, that's actually interesting that Sanders only hit by 11, which would be a likely margin by. Yeah, Biden plus 23. That's in no way, shape, or form a lean. Same with New Jersey, Delaware. They're not going to be likely. New York's going to be safe. Maine at large, and their first district's going to be, and that'll do it. 194 safe red, safe blue electoral votes. Utah and Montana are going to be safe, no question about that. Alaska actually could narrow up. It could, and I can put it as safe right now because there are really no indicators that. Oops, no, we don't want to do that. Okay, my bad. I accidentally do. Yeah, so Trump has a +7 net favorable approval, and these are updated every single day, so these are actually pretty reliable. But they do. Morning consult is a little bit better. Personally, I'd rather have morning consult, but this is February 2020, whereas this is from today. Or yesterday, something like that. Let's go. And so JHK forecast gives Biden like a 2% chance of winning. 10% actually. It's better than I thought, but still, Biden's probably not going to win Alaska, and it's probably not going to narrow up. Kansas could be likely. I don't see it being likely. Arkansas, there were some polls that came out that had, Trump only had by 2. Yeah, that's not gonna happen. Louisiana's going to be safe. Mississippi's not going to be safe. Indiana's going to be safe only because Mike Pence is from there. And yeah, that's it. So 100 safe electoral votes for the Republican Party. All right. So we'll look at Texas for a second. I thought it was safe. No. Texas, Georgia's not safe. South Carolina's not safe. Missouri's not safe. Mississippi's not safe. Texas isn't safe. And I'm basing a lot of this stuff off my model, which for those of you who haven't watched my video on my past predictions, my model, I'm putting confidence into it because my House forecast in 2018 was actually, it was on the mark for, I underestimated the Democrats, and I fixed a few things up, and I've actually been more accurate in the special election since then. My Senate forecast was actually better. I did overestimate the Democrats in the Senate, so I underestimated them in the House, and I overestimated them in the Senate. I believe I had them picking up 2 seats because I had them. Long story short, in the midterms, I had the race I got wrong. I got Nevada flipping blue correct. I got North Dakota flipping red right. I called McCaskill losing in Missouri, and I got I don't think I had Nelson. I think I had Nelson pulling it off, and yeah, and then I had all the holds in the Midwest for the Democrats. I didn't. Although I did think Donnelly was going to win in Indiana, I didn't get that right. I thought McSally was going to win in Arizona. I got Tester right in Montana, and I got Bill Nelson wrong in Florida. So, also I thought Phil Bredesen was going to win Tennessee. That was pretty embarrassing. I think he lost by 9 points. Yeah, he lost by 9. So that was embarrassing for me. But yeah, long story short, I had the Democrats at 49 seats. I was 2 off the mark, so I overestimated them in the Senate and underestimated them in the House. Anyways, I kind of went off on a tangent about. Okay, now I'm gonna actually talk about some interesting states. So for the likely Democratic states, New Mexico is the first one that comes to mind for me. Now, Hillary Clinton won the state by 9.5% in 2016. Now, Hillary Clinton, oh my god, that was a horrible voice crack. That was awful. Hillary Clinton is strong with minorities, with the Hispanic vote, stronger than Biden, but it is trending to the left. So I think my model has Biden winning it by 10 to 12 points, which is falling in the likely category. Certainly higher and likely for the Democrats, but still. Also, the Trump campaign is going to invest a bit of money into New Mexico. They think they can win it, but even the most far to the right YouTubers, even they know that New Mexico is not going to go for the Republicans. Maybe in a best case scenario it could, but still not going to happen. Minnesota is going to be likely. I think there is some polling under there. Oh, by the way, Trump's approval rating is horrific right now. Is there polling? Minnesota? I think it's mostly Senate polling. Oh, that's House yesterday. Yeah, Biden had by 16 by likely margin. Klobuchar knew. Oh, that's why would they be? Okay, that was the Senate race in 2018. Why would they be taking polls on that? Tina's had some Senate polling. Oh, there was a poll that has this by be lean. I actually used to characterize this as the lean Democratic state because it is trending on the right overall, but it'll stay with the Democrats by a likely margin. My model has a 7-point win for Biden there, which is about right. I mean, Obama won by I think 8 points in 2012. I'm not sure about 2008, but it was probably a 10-point win in 2008 because he did amazing in 2008. But it'll stay blue now. Whoops, I don't need that. All right. Notifications coming in handy. Now, Michigan, this is more controversial. This is a controversial call because there is. I'm going to talk about Michigan for a bit. There is absolutely no one. People who think that Michigan is going to stay with Trump. Michigan, I'm going to compare it to Indiana. In 2008, Indiana went for Obama. It went by a little more than Michigan went by a couple thousand votes, essentially. By less. I think Michigan went for Trump by 0.2%. Indiana went for Obama by 0.4%, maybe 0.3%. I think I'm forgetting. But anyways, in 2012, I did not predict the 2012 election. I was young and I didn't know that much about politics back then. So, as you can probably tell by my voice, I wasn't old enough to predict an election in 2012. I do vaguely remember Mitt Romney conceding that race, and I remember who my parents voted for and all that stuff, but I didn't predict the election. So, anyways, Obama won Indiana in 2008, and me saying, suppose I was old enough to predict an election in 2012, okay, Indiana's going to stay blue, is I know evidence I would have people who say, okay, I'm turning all over myself, but just because the only reason that people would think that Indiana is going to stay blue in 2012 was because it happened in 2008. That's like me saying, so it's Michigan was the Indiana of 2016. It's not going to stay with the Republicans. There's no evidence for that. The polling is horrible for Donald Trump. It's never ever been good. I mean, he's losing by 18, losing by 11, by 10, losing by 1, and I think that they redid the poll. Never mind, they didn't. Let's look at the most updated map. He is -9 in Michigan, and according to Morning Consult, he's -10. So, again, this is none of this bodes well for Trump. JK forecast gives him an 8.7% of winning, and this is a very good forecast, very accurate in the midterm elections. And Michigan is going to stay with, or going to go back to the Democrats. It's a blue state at heart. The one reason that that one could expect to stay red is because gerrymandering. But again, they fixed gerrymandering in 2018, and they're going to redistrict in 2020. In fact, they passed there was a proposition that passed in the midterm elections that that took away the redistricting power from state legislature, which is probably going to stay with the Republicans, and give it to a independent caucus, which is going to fairly redistrict. So, anyways, it'll stay blue. It kind of went off on a tangent. It'll go. it's such a blue state that I say stay blue, but it's going to flip back to the Democrats. Again, Hillary Clinton made no effort to appeal to these people. No, she didn't campaign there. She didn't run campaign advertisements on television there. She didn't talk there. She made no effort to reach out to these people. Whereas Donald Trump, he campaigned in Michigan and Pennsylvania, the most out of any states. He talked a lot about creating jobs, bringing jobs back from overseas, and he did everything right to get these votes to his side, and he still only got 49% of the vote. He didn't crack 50%, and he still barely won over Hillary Clinton, who made no effort to reach out to those people. Now, Biden is doing everything he can to reach out to those people. So is Trump, but Biden is going to win the state, and it's going to be likely. My model gives him a 6 to 8 point win over Trump. Now, going over, Virginia is going to be likely. For those of you who want to know, my model says, let me pull it out. All right, I'm forgetting. All right, so 7 to 9 point win for Biden in Virginia, which when I calculated that, I was a little skeptical because I thought it was going to be like 5, 6 point win for Biden there, but the polling is really bad for Trump there, and Mark Warner is running for Senate there. There's a House poll, Biden plus 12, which is likely, Biden plus 10, which is likely. There's a lot of polling that was added for the Bloomberg Klobuchar, Biden plus 16 plus 15. So, is that, okay, or is that, oh yeah, sorry, my bad. Alright, anyways, it'll stay with the Democrats. The one, I could see it being lean because it was, the one argument that the Republicans have for Virginia is that it was only a 5 point win for Secretary Clinton in 2016, even though her running mate was Tim Kaine, senator from Virginia. But Virginia, they re-elected Tim Kaine to the Senate in 2018 overwhelmingly. They elected a Democrat governor there by historic margins. So, yeah, they flipped the state legislature. So, again, Virginia is going to stay with the Democrats. If they're willing to turn out for Hillary Clinton, if they're going to turn out for anyone. Okay, that's it for the Democrats. Now going over the Republicans, we have a lot of likely Republican states, starting with the state of Missouri, which my model gives Trump an 11 point win there, so barely likely, but it'll be likely. Mississippi is going to be likely, just because, again, I could see this going safe. My model originally had this as safe, not so much anymore, an 11.5 to 13 point win. So I'm just going to put a likely. It could be safe. I could see it being safe. High African American turnout because Joe Biden was spectacular with the African American vote. So yes, South Carolina is going to be likely as well. It'll be lower. It'll be closer than Missouri and Mississippi. My model. Let me see. 7 to 9 point win for Trump there. So yes, kind of in the middle of a likely state. There is some polling, I believe, and South Carolina. The polls, I think they're Biden versus Trump. There was a poll. Most of the polling is for the Senate because there was a competitive race there that could actually be lean. But civics, Trump only plus 3% there. Morning consult is a little bit better for him, 12%. Either way, those are lean and likely margins, respectively. And Biden only 6% chance of winning South Carolina in this. And so betting on just Biden is skyrocketing. So again, this map does seem favorable to Biden, but I'm just doing it off of what the data is saying, and the data is saying that Joe Biden is going to win in possibly a landslide. So, yes, what was I going to say? South Carolina should be likely. For those of you who are new on my channel, I'm a progressive liberal, so as you can expect, I'm probably more aligned with Biden. I'm not in love with Biden. I think some of his policies are a bit out of touch, but he's better than Trump in my opinion. And I respect other people's opinions. I respect if you're a Trump supporter, I don't think you're stupid or racist. I respect everything, every political view, although I may disagree with you. But anyways, if I could vote for someone, I'd probably go for Biden. Now, yeah, I'd probably go for Biden over Trump. Actually, I would because I cannot see myself ever voting for Donald Trump. But I'd go for Biden. But I'm actually rooting for Trump to win South Carolina because I made a bet with someone. Someone thinks that this guy now who thinks Biden's going to win South Carolina. Anyways, I'm hoping South Carolina stays red because I can win money. Anyways, that was dumb of me to mention. But and Nebraska's second district is barely going to be likely. My model says 4 to 5 point win for Trump, but I think I'm being a little generous to Biden there, so it'll stay with Trump. Now, Nevada is the definition of a lean state. My model gives Biden a 5 point win in Nevada, but I think it could narrow up because Hillary Clinton, who again had a lot of appeal to minorities, especially Hispanics, although Biden does have more appeal to the black people. But anyways, Hillary Clinton had a lot of appeal to minorities. She only won it by 1.5%, which is a tilt margin. Now it's going to stay with the Democrats almost certainly. JHK forecasts. Let's see what it has. Biden 88.5% chance, so he has a better chance of winning Michigan than Obama, which is really interesting. But yeah, so it'll stay with the Democrats. I'm expecting it to, anyways. So yes, Nevada it's just trending to the left. I could see it being tilt for the Democrats. Probably not going to be good for the Republicans. Now, if the Democrats are running Bernie Sanders, who again, I love Bernie Sanders, but he'd probably lose Nevada barely. Biden has more appeal to those voters, and the polling is very good for Biden. Let's find Nevada. Biden +4, Buttigieg +11. That's interesting, but not a ton of polling done. Let's see if there are any polls done like in 2018. 100 years ago feels like. Right, yeah, there's some. Okay, so Republican Party got 3. All right. There were some. Sorry, never mind. My bad. Biden's gonna win Nevada by a lead margin. That's what the polls say. And for those of you who don't trust the polls, I made a video about why the polls are accurate. So I think you need to watch that. I'm just gonna put that in the description of every video that I make. So yes, thanks. I was supposed to say thanks for watching. I'm so dumb. All right, lean states. We're also going to go to the state of Arizona, which is going to vote to the left of Wisconsin. Now, I originally had this as a tilt state. My model now gives Biden a 3 to 4 point win in Nevada or in Arizona. Oh my gosh, I cannot. Now, JHK forecast gives Biden a 71.5% chance of winning that state. And originally, it was Trump was ahead there by a pretty significant margin. Now Biden is just, again, he's definitely at his peak right now. But it's getting closer and closer to Election Day, and right now things are not looking good for Joe Biden or for Donald Trump. Now, this projected vote gives it to Biden by a lean margin. The polling overall has Biden ahead by a lean margin as well, +4, +7, +9 for Kelly. Kelly's going to help Biden in the Senate race. Civics, -8% net for Donald Trump now. Morning Consult, which is, again, this is February, and COVID-19 hadn't hit, so in Trump's over in February, let's see how popular Donald Trump was in February. Yeah, he was at a 44% approval rating. Depending on where you look at, middle of February, 44% approval rating. Right now, he's at 40.6% approval rating, and he's only +1 in Arizona in February. So that's not good news for Trump at all. No data suggests that Trump's going to win Arizona, other than he won it in 2016. But again, no one thought Hillary Clinton made Arizona really close. I thought she was going to lose it by a likely margin. She lost it by a lean margin. Sorry, I just need to refresh. Oh, I also forgot to characterize Texas as likely Republican. That was really dumb of me. But yeah, Texas is going to stay with the Republicans. There was a poll that came out of there that put Biden ahead of Trump. But again, some of these polls, you have to weight them by let's see what that is. Oops, by party ID, and yes, Biden is ahead by 1, but Texas is infamous for suppressing the Latino and Black vote, which does favor the Democrats. So Cornyn's going to help Biden win, or Trump win in Texas, Trump +2. So these are all tilt. I mean, according to the polls, it would probably be as of late, it would be a tilt blue state, but overall tilt red. It'll be likely for the Republicans. Now, if you look at civics, he is -2 net. Um, yeah, sorry, I heard something. +7 now, which is likely. Tilt. It'll be likely for the Republicans. I don't see if Biden he'll campaign there. He'll invest time there, but Beto O'Rourke, who is facing a really unpopular Ted Cruz in every single county in Texas, he still lost it by I think a tilt or lean margin. It was close. I give Beto O'Rourke a lot of credit, but Biden doesn't have the time to invest in every single county in Texas, and it doesn't seem like he doesn't need Texas, so he's not going to campaign there. Trump does need Texas more than Biden does. Now, likely, I have one more lean state for the Democrats, and that's New Hampshire, which is going to stay with the Democrats. Hillary Clinton barely won it in 2016. If you're really going to turn out for Hillary Clinton, you're going to turn out for Joe Biden. I think there is some polling on New Hampshire. If we can find New Hampshire. Yeah, there we go. Biden +7. Okay, that's the governor's race. Yeah, he'll win. Biden +8. Shaheen is interesting that. Okay, so they did these polls. Sununu is the governor. He's popular. He'll win re-election, but he's not running for Senate. Nor is Kelly Ayotte, who was the former senator. It's Don Bolduc, and Bolduc is going to lose. And then we actually Bolduc +19 for Shaheen. So yes, there was a poll that had Bloomberg behind Trump. That's actually interesting. But all the polls that have Biden versus Trump, Biden +7, +8. I think it'll be a little bit closer because it was very close in 2016. It was a tilt to blue state. So yes, I just have a feeling in my gut it'll be lean. My model gives Biden a 4-point win there, and I'm going to trust my model on this one. Lean Republican states. Iowa and Ohio are really weird for me. So we're going to talk about Iowa first. In both these states, I could see being tilt or likely Republican states. So I'm going to put them in the middle, lean. My forecast has Trump winning Iowa by 3 and Ohio by 4 to 6 points. Or sorry, Iowa 3 to 5, Ohio 4 to 6. So, however, Iowa is more rural, and people who say, there are already a lot of Democrats in Iowa who like to vote for Republicans. Now, Iowa, what's so interesting about Iowa is that in the midterms in 2018, there was a blue wave, obviously, but they flipped Democrats flipped 2 of Iowa's 4 congressional districts. Originally, the Republicans held 3 seats, the Democrats held 1. Now it's flip-flop. Democrats have 3, and the Republicans have 1. Yeah. However, it is a rural state, and Trump, I think the polling is actually better for Biden than you'd expect. But again, Trump plus 1. Greenfield is interesting Senate race to watch. It's heating up there. Trump +1. I think there's one that had Biden ahead. So Sanders in Iowa. Buttigieg won Iowa, actually. So these polls are actually pretty inaccurate. But yet they show it as a tilt red state. I could see it being tilt, but it'll probably be lean. Now, Obama did win it both times he ran it. And Al Gore, who lost he should have won the election. I'm going to make a video about that eventually. But he lost the Electoral College because it was rigged against him, but he still won Iowa. Because they didn't rig Iowa. But Ohio, I just think, trying to the right overall, so is Iowa. And Democrats could not flip a single House seat. They flipped 2 seats in Iowa. They couldn't flip any seats in Ohio, which is Ohio is very gerrymandered, so it's hard for them to flip seats there, but still. They had an opportunity to win a governor's race there with Richard Cordray running. He's a strong candidate, and I actually thought that he was going to win, but no, he lost to Mike DeWine, who is now a very popular governor. But yes, now the one saving grace for the Democrats in Ohio is that they did win. They did win a Senate race there by a likely margin, which is good news for them. But other than Sherrod Brown, not a lot of Democrats who won in the midterms. Now, Tim Ryan, he did win his district. Marcia Fudge won her district. But anyways, it'll stay with the Republicans in all likelihood. JHK forecast, they have to say no. Ohio is actually interesting because net favorable +0 in both of these, but it'll probably go down. I'm still not big on Biden winning Ohio. I did have it as likely, but because this is a high point for Biden, it'll probably go back to a likely, and they give Biden 45%. So, yeah. last state I'm going to talk about is Georgia in the lean column. Now, Georgia, how do I put this? Georgia is interesting because if we had a fair election in Georgia, it would be a tilt or lean blue state. Stacey Abrams was. I'm reading her book right now because I'm a liberal weirdo who just reads the propaganda as. Tell me how I'm biased in the comment section. I don't care. But yes, I'm reading Stacey Abrams' book. She's a very good author. I recommend it. But she talks about voter suppression a lot because she's an expert on that. So let's do the math here. Stacey Abrams, she lost that race. I'm not going to make a guess because Georgia governor race. I know I spelled governor wrong. Don't sue me, please. Yeah, so she lost this race by 50,000. Sorry, no. Yeah, she lost it by 55,000 votes, basically. In 2014, it was much more lopsided, as you can see here. But yeah, she lost it by 50,000 votes. High turnout, much higher than 2014, because there was a high turnout election in a blue wave year. But they didn't count 20,000 absentee ballots. They didn't count 20,000 absentee. So you add that, Abrams still down 30,000 votes. And they turned away a ton of voters. Brian Kemp suppressed. He was the Secretary of State, so he was the guy who's running the election, but he was also running for governor. So you can see why it was rigged against Abrams. She deserves to be governor of Georgia. She won the race, but unfortunately for both parties, we don't live in a fair society, and Georgia is not going to be happy holding a fair election. If they do, it's a toss-up or a tilt. Blue state, maybe even lean, but it's not going to happen. It'll stay with Trump. Now there were some polls that came out of Georgia that had Biden ahead. I don't really trust those polls, but yeah. Okay, now we're gonna go over to the tilt blue states, and starting with Wisconsin. Now, Wisconsin and Pennsylvania are weird because I could see them being lean or even likely, but I'm gonna put them tilt because that's where my gut is. My model suggests otherwise, but I'm gonna ignore that because right now, Wisconsin should be blue. I mean, Hillary Clinton, same argument. I mean, with Michigan, she made no attempt to reach out to those people. She still barely lost it. She made no attempt to reach out to those people, and she still barely lost it. Biden is making the whole reason that he was the favorite of the Democratic Party was because he was the best candidate to beat Trump, which he probably was. I mean, Amy Klobuchar was good. I would argue that Tim Ryan was also a pretty good candidate to beat Trump, but Tim Ryan, he dropped out so early. Yeah. So is Pete Buttigieg, but whatever. So, yeah, he is making every attempt in the world to reach out to these people. He's campaigning there. And Democrats are not going to sleep on Wisconsin again. They slept in 2016. Hillary Clinton, she held one rally there, and it was in April, and then she never came back because she denied its existence. They're certainly not going to make that mistake again, and they are going to visit it a lot. They're going to invest a ton of money there, and I could see them winning it by a lean or likely margin. The polls have Biden ahead by 9 plus 17. Well, that's plus 11 plus 9. Sanders plus 3 plus 6. Why are they pulling Klobuchar in June? That's stupid. Wisconsin -8 for Trump. Wisconsin negative 10. So, yeah. It'll probably stay with the Democrats. Pennsylvania, I could actually see staying with the Republicans for one reason, because Trump is going to make Biden seem like a coal-grabbing lunatic who's going to take away people's jobs. Not the case, but he did a very good job of it with Hillary Clinton in 2016. And he could do it again. He fearmongers, and he does everything to win an election, and it works sometimes. He's a very good campaigner. It's -7 net favorable in Pennsylvania. All right, let's see JK forecast to see what they have to say. 86% of winning for Trump, or for Biden, my bad. She looked at the net approvals, seen everything. All the data points to a Biden victory. Let's look at the polling. There was a poll that had Trump ahead by 4, but they redid it and said it was a bad poll. Let me see if I can find it. It was Trump plus 4. It was done by Change Research. They redid the poll. It was already a C-rated poll. They redid it, Change Research, and let's see, and they put Biden ahead by 3. So they redid the poll and fixed it. Biden plus 10, plus 10, plus 12. Kelly, and that's a House race. Scott Kelly versus Nibis. All right, that's a fun name to say, Nibis. All right. So going over to North Carolina, North Carolina's gone as well. I mean, I don't see a way for Trump to pull it off in North Carolina. JHK forecast, see what they have to say. Doing our check-in with them. They give 71.5% chance of Biden winning North Carolina. That's pretty generous. I mean, but I can still see why they think that, because again, it's a very toss-up state. That's dumb. It's a toss-up-y state. Well, Biden 40. That's interesting. That'll be interesting to watch. But it's a toss-up state that really is could go either way. I could really see Trump winning North Carolina, but there are a lot of swing voters there who went for Trump in 2016 and say they're going to go for Biden. There's a whole coalition of people who went for Trump in 2016 are going to go for Biden this time around, and that's why Biden is the favorite to win the election as of right now. But yeah, he'll probably win North Carolina. The polling does certainly it reflects that. Carolina. Where is North? There we go. North Carolina, Biden plus 2, plus 9, plus 6. Cal Cunningham versus Tom Tillis. And net approval, they're -5, which is not good. He's plus 4 in this. But again, this is February, so you have to wait them. So yes, North Carolina's probably going to stay with the Democrats. Roy Cooper is also running for governor there, and he's only going to help them because Roy Cooper is, again, a very popular governor. He's expected to win by the polls say, this all poll that had him ahead by 18, by 16, by 20, by 15. It'll probably be lean or likely for the Democrats. I have it as likely. LTE has it as lean. But, yes, it'll probably stay with the Democrats at the governor's level, and it'll flip to the Democrats at the presidential level. Now, Florida. I'd say Florida. Now, the voters in Florida gave 1.4 million felons the right to vote, most of whom are minorities, which only helps Trump, or which only helps Biden. Plus, a lot of the older voters in the Panhandle who are lifelong conservatives and usually vote Republican that went for Trump in 2016 overwhelmingly. They're starting to. Trump is losing in the elderly vote by pretty considerable margins. So Florida -9 net, which is bad for him, plus 3 there. So if we average that out, it'll be -6 net. Sorry, there are people yelling in my house because my family is weird. But Florida is +9, +6, +4. Oh my gosh, sorry. I'm really sorry. My brother is really high energy, so he's running around the house right now. Biden +7, Biden +11, +10, +3. So lean and likely in some no state, but the older voters are turning away from Trump. The felons are allowed to vote now, which is largely a minority. Plus the fact that it was still close in 20. It's always close. It'll stay close, but it'll go to the Democrats this time around because Biden is going to campaign there, higher turnout. 2020 is poised to be maybe even higher turnout than 2008, which is only good news for the Democrats. And Obama won this both times he ran. Al Gore should have won this. He won Florida in 2000. He lost it officially, but everyone knows that he won Florida. Now, there was one electoral vote left to award, and we're going to give it to Donald Trump. It's Maine's 2nd congressional district, which, to be quite honest, Maine's 2nd district, I don't even know how the Democrats won in the first place, because it's a super rural region. It's trending to the right overwhelmingly. There is no polling there in Maine. Let's see if they do it by district. I want to see if they have congressional district. Yeah, Biden plus. So yeah, that should do it for this video. It's a rural region. It's mostly white voters. They're probably going to go for Trump. It could be close. I would just tilt, obviously, so it'll be close. He won by a likely margin in 2016. It'll narrow up because Hillary Clinton was a horrible candidate for the Democrats. No, I love Hillary. She should have been president. I know. I was really sad when she lost, but she was a bad candidate for the Democrats. Anyways, Maine, 2nd District, going to go red, and that finishes our electoral map. So you probably skipped to the end, but this is the map. So yeah, I'm going to clean this up a little bit so you guys can see the margins. Because I like it when it's, kind of all blue or all red, no shades, different shades of blue, different shades of red. And yeah. Thanks for watching. Please subscribe if you haven't already. I'd really appreciate it. I'm currently working on the form for the 150 subscriber special is due tomorrow at 7 p.m. East Pacific, which is 10 p.m. Eastern. Time in America. I'm not sure about Britain. I'm too lazy to do the math right now. But yes, this is final electoral map. Please fill out the form. We only have 20 responses so far. So if you can fill it out, it would be much appreciated. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you all tomorrow. Bye, everyone.